Hi, I'm Luca, and I'm going to be doing my short film evaluation. And I'm going to be talking you through what I did and how I did it while we go through the movie. So here we go. I'm just going to turn the sound down. Now here you see the opening title, and if we go back to the opening title, it just fades in quite quickly to the opening. It's a boy sitting on the sofa on his phone, and just a simple title of My City, as that's the brief. And how we did it, we imported the text into it, changed the font, and then we just changed the opacity to 0 to 100%, put a black solid behind the movie, and then made it look like it was faded in from black to the movie. And that's how we did the opening. Now here you see our first bit of motion graphics is seeing him flick through the App Store, well, the App Store that we're calling the App Store, and he's looking through and he sees the app that he likes, and as you can see, the buttons and download button actually move in contrast of how the video does it. So when he clicks it, it will actually look like he clicked it on the interface. So as you see now, he looks at it, and when he clicks on it, look at the download button, it clicks. Now, with the download bar, this was easy and hard at the same time. It was hard to figure out how to do it, but once we figured out how to do it, it was really easy. All we did really was put a mask around the blank download bar, and got a blue, just a blue solid, and extended the pixels with keyframes. And we set this to be this size at this keyframe, and then this size to make it bigger at this keyframe, and gave it the effect that it was going up and downloading. Now, if you see here, look, again, when you press it, it goes, it's open. Okay, now this is just draw a picture and take a photo of it, and then press. Now it's just basically the app telling him what to do. So he's opened the app. Now he's gone over here. And now you see what's lighting this shot is you can see the lamp in the background just giving the effect of another light. But we can see to the right of the screen, out of shot, is a really big lamp. Like a light that's just blasting out loads of light to give the camera more definition to it. And there's a light behind us as well, the filming camera. Which just lighted up the whole scene. So if we go on, we see him and he's about to draw this person. And we thought those quick shots we didn't want to spend too much time focusing on what he's drawing. We wanted to focus on the outcome of the drawing, not what the process of him drawing it. That's now he's doing what the app says. He's about to take a picture of it. And if I turn the sound on, you'll hear the music as well, and the music was done by one of my friends, Dylan Jones. He made it for me. He came around my house, and we just went on the computer, and he did the guitar, and we just we did it 2.5 minutes it is, and it's really good. But we also added sound effects, like royalty-free sound effects. So when he takes the picture, a camera sound. If you can hear this. If you got that, let me try and I'll play that again. And yeah, and that's we use loads of sound effects in this. Actually, no, we only used 2. So if we keep going, and he comes over and he takes the photo. Another sound effect is put in there. And what we did, if we go back to this shot, as he's using an iPhone and the Apple logo is on the back of the phone, we wanted to block it out so there wasn't any copyright issues. So we made him put his fingers over it so that it would prevent the logo showing. Now this is the first bit of proper motion graphics we did, and motion tracking. As you can see there, you see a waving character on the wall, and if we just go back a little bit, we see that it's out of focus for the beginning of it, But then what we did was we just made it blurry, a Gaussian blur. We added a Gaussian blur to the character waving, and the actor Jake, one of my friends, he was in focus at the beginning, and then what I did was I set the keyframe to be as soon as it starts turning out of focus, and goes to the end of when it stops focus, the character will be in full focus, the cartoon character, while Jake's going to be in non-focus. So if you see now there, and you see him waving, and how we did that was we used the puppet tool, and what the puppet tool essentially does is it divides the character all up into loads of triangles and like joints, and you can add joints to where you want to move. So we added a joint in the elbow and then in the hand. So what we did was we moved the hand and the elbow stayed where it was, so it made it give the effect that it was waving. And then which was quite effective. And what we see here, you see the character on the wall. Now we didn't want the character to be like fully opaque. We wanted to turn the opacity down a little bit to give the effect that it was actually on the wall, not just on the screen. So we thought that would be a good effect to the character. So if we go on, this is another bit of motion graphics that we want to keep the same theme of it being on the wall, the motion graphics being on the wall. So we made it look like this was on the wall behind him, and it just starts flashing on and off and on and off and on and off. And how I made it flash on and off and on and off and on and off is we created two separate light bulbs, one of them on and one of them off. And what we did was we imported both of those into the composition, and we placed the off light bulb above where we wanted it, and then using the on light bulb, put it exactly where the off light bulb was, and pretty much turning it on and off and on and off and on and off and on and off. And there are many ways you can do that. You could duplicate the image and just leave gaps in the timeline, or what you could do is you turn the opacity down within one frame, so it makes it look like it just disappeared. But what I did is I duplicated it and made loads of different versions of it, so make it look like it was there was gaps in between each one. So it goes on and off. And actually, if you'll see you'll hear a sound effect. If I turn this up, maybe you can hear this. Now that sound effect we got off 33 again. It's just the elevator doorbell, but we made it work quite well. So he goes over to sit down again and just starts drawing, and he's got the idea to make this character happy. And there's another sound effect here, if you can hear it. I'll go back. And using the sound effect just gives it a more depth to it, really. And now you see, and he's got a house, and you see the boy's happy, and we made the house a bit transparent. And here is where we use a lot the same sound effect when he gets another good idea. So if you can hear this. The same way we made the light bulbs, do this, was what we did was we imported 5 off light bulbs and 5 on light bulbs. And what I did was I put each light bulb, the on light bulb, exactly in front of the off light bulb, and literally turned them on and off and on and off and on and off at a certain point to make it look like he's got loads of ideas. And we thought this looked really good, it worked really well, and the sound effects go in time to the flashing of the lights. So if we move on, you see him running to get some paper. Now the next bit was very, very tricky. As you can see, the character and the house is actually behind the Jake. And if we pause it for a sec, what I did, if we go back here, was we used a tool in After Effects called a rotoscoped tool. And what it essentially does is it will quick select anything you tell it to quick select. So I quick selected Jake, and it made the shape of Jake. But the annoying thing was he's wearing a white t-shirt on a white wall. The white wall's behind him, so it was quite. Sometimes it messed up a bit. So what I did was I manually just drew around Jake, and a few frames the computer will get it correctly, and then every time it messed up I would have to go around him again, and then the computer would do it correctly, and this took a long time. What it does after you've cropped him out of the thing, you put what you've cropped out on top of the original video, and it gives it the effect that the house behind him and the character are actually there. And the good thing, the other technique we used to make it look like the character and the house were actually there was motion tracking. And what we did was we motion tracked the house and the character onto these markers on the wall. But what I've done cleverly was I've gotten a square, and it had a four-sided gradient on it. So at each corner had a color picker on it. And what you did, you click the color picker, and what you do is you make the square just the size of the marker on the wall. And what I did was I placed it in front of the four markers on the wall, and just outside the square you color pick the wall, and in each corner, and the gradient just makes it look like it's the wall, and it blends in quite well. You can hardly notice that there was markers there, because there was a marker up here, I think there was a marker down here, and there was one behind him there, and there's one there, and this worked very well. And we had to motion track those onto the markers to make it look like there were none there, which took a while. This little clip took the longest to do. So if we move on, you can see it's behind him, and when it starts moving, motion track that on there. I had to do that manually. Each frame I had to move the house, because the automatic motion tracker wasn't really doing it the effect I wanted to do, so I had to move it manually, which took a long time. So everything you did, I had to move it like that, which I think I did a pretty good job. Now we got another series of these little cut jump scenes where he starts drawing something and it cuts to the next thing he draws. But the good thing we want to do, you don't know what he's going to draw. You don't know the big idea he has. Now we've got another jump scene where you hear lots of sound effects, and the video starts jumping, and we thought this was a good effect just to speed things up, and generally just give the effect that he's drawn lots and lots of things. So if you can hear this, you can hear the sound effects going, and you can see the jumping of the video. So. Now that was very easy. All I had to do was film him a long time, just going back and forth, taking a picture of what he drew, and just essentially cutting out the bit when he was walking to and from, taking a picture, and then taking a picture on the wall, which was very easy. And now you see, as we made the own music, we've done it in time to when he's finished and he takes the breath of relief. The music stops, and then you can see what he's created at the end. So if I just play this all for you. Now the thing I like about the ending is that you can see the character in the middle. He's now in the city, he's now happy, he's happier. That was the idea again. Like he didn't want to be on a blank wall, like no one wants to be in somewhere where it's just blank, there's nothing to do. So we built him a city, and as you can see, it's the city of London, which is where we got the inspiration from, and we had to draw everything you see there. And the buildings in the background are just to fill up space to make it look like a city, but the main landmarks you see there, you got the London Bridge, or the Tower Bridge, Tower Bridge, I think that is, or London Bridge, I'm not sure. And then you got the Parliament and Big Ben, and then you got a phone box, and then also you have the Gherkin, St Paul's Cathedral, City Hall. You have a bus stop or a tube stop, wherever that is, and you have the London Eye. And these are all very good iconic London landmarks that are very noticeable, very recognisable to people that haven't been to London, but they know what London has inside it. So, for example, I know what's in New York. You got the Chrysler Building, you got the Empire State, you got the Statue of Liberty. This is basically London's recognisable features, and we thought it would be a good idea to incorporate those into the video so people would understand that London is the city that this little cartoon character wanted. And as you play down, we get the credits just by me, Luke Doring, and my partner Amy Cotton. And this took us around about 5 weeks to complete and prepare from start to finish of filming and then editing. Which I would say that's not a huge amount of time, but we've only just finished rendering the final with music, which we did that around about a week ago, and we're happy with the outcome, and it's everything we wanted it to be. And I'm very pleased with what we have here. So yeah, that's mine and Amy's short film, and we hope you enjoyed it.